5. Number 1, constituent. So that word might be a little bit hard to pronounce. Constituent.
Constituent.
Yeah, constituent. And it just means being a part of something, being part of a whole. So it can be used in a variety of ways. It can talk about, a lot of times it is used in like politics or something, or for government, the constituents, whoever is making up a part of this group, in this district or in this Congress or whatever, part of a group, part of a whole. Example sentence here, we have to call the attention of all the constituents for an emergency meeting. So we have to tell everyone to come together for an emergency meeting. Here he is talking about, in his thing, Schultz, the Starbucks guy, said,
being value for one constituent.
I missed it. Yeah, just one, building value for one constituent. So we don't want to just make a profit and build value for one constituent, just the making money people who care about that, right? Just one part of our business for one constituent. We don't want to only deal with that. That's just a part of the big picture. A lot of times use that, the big picture. Making money is part of it, but also helping people and blah 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 blah. Anytime it's just part of a whole, part of a group, it can be used in a lot of different ways. I'm trying to think of other ways, like I said, in politics, or talking about your district and all the constituents. Maybe for some board, for like if you have a big group, the constituents are the people who make up that board. 16 constituents are on your board of advisors, 16 people basically. So being a part of the whole. Number 2, playbook. A set of rules or suggestions that are considered suitable for an activity, industry, or job. I think actually, I always give examples about sports, but I think originally this probably came from sports, right? In your playbook, especially, maybe this might be a kind of typically American expression, especially because of American football. In the playbook are your plays, and every member of the team must study the playbook. This is what you do. So I think this might be a relatively new word or phrase, specifically because of America, particular to America. That's just my idea. I would have to check, but it is now often used for lots of, not just sports. This example sentence, some of the teachers graciously shared their own playbook to the student teacher trainees. So this is the playbook. They have what they do, normal procedures, what is normal, what is suitable. He says, if you take anything from our playbook, meaning Starbucks, what we do, our playbook. It really makes me think of sports. I think this is where this originated. Our playbook is kind of what we do, the plays we run, our plan. So you can use this for business, for on the job, sports, stuff like that. It has kind of grown, and you can use in maybe numerous situations. You can say, took a page out of my own playbook, meaning like things that I do. It's always hard to think of examples, so this is a little silly one, but maybe I'm not single, but maybe I'm single, and when we go to the bar or club and try to meet girls, maybe I always talk about her clothes, right? And that is my good way, right? I say, oh, I really like your shirt. And So that's how I get your phone number. And then the next weekend I see you and I talk about your jacket. Oh, I really like your jacket, right? So then Ted, he's another single guy. We are friends. The next month, you, some other girl, oh, that's a really nice hat. And then Ted comes back to the table and I'm like, oh, took one out of my playbook, did you? Like my way to do things. He borrowed it from my playbook.
Yeah.
So you could...
Sounds like tactics.
Tactics, playbook.
Or
Yeah.
manual.
Manual, yeah. Manual might be a little more actually. There's an actual book. There's actual paper, manual. Playbook, meaning it might not actually be written down. Even though technically, like I said, in sports, the playbook is written down. But playbook, you know, he's saying if you take anything from our playbook, now this word kind of means it's probably not written down. It's just what we do. That's our playbook. Manual makes it sound like it's actually written down. Number 3, convene. To come or bring together for an activity, a meeting, an assembly. In this example sentence, I was shocked to see the animals convening in one spot at the zoo. All the animals came together. They convened. Come together, for especially for a purpose. And I'm trying to see where Schultz uses it. Always I cannot find it. A lot of times this word can be used a little bit more, sometimes formally, sometimes informally, but when you finish a meeting, okay, we will convene later at this location. Meaning we will all come together later here. Or does the judge use it? We will convene at maybe the judge, like ending the morning session, we will convene at 2:00, meaning come back together at 2:00. I think sometimes the judge uses that word. So meaning come together for a meeting, activity. A lot of times if it's a special ceremony or something, president is giving a speech, so many people convene there. Or some special occasion, so many people want to go see what is happening. You can use it for a situation like that. People coming together. Number 4, Sappy. I think I explained it. The definition here says excessively sentimental. In the example sentence, the book you recommended for me is too sappy for my taste. So I think we kind of explained this one as best as I could. Like I said, you really have to... it's just a feeling. Sappy. Excessively sentimental. Sentimental meaning feelings, touchy feelings like that. And number 5, good word, underlying. Means it's real, it exists, but you cannot see it. It's not immediately obvious. So when I say you cannot see it, usually it's not talking about visibly see, but just you cannot know this, you cannot recognize this, not immediately. There's an underlying trouble that our company is facing right now. Maybe from the outside you do not know it, but really when you dig deep and you research the company, there is this problem, underlying, meaning under everything else, under appearance, or under most of the main stuff going on, there's an underlying problem. A lot of times they will use underlying issue. You know, the main issue might be this, but actually there's an underlying issue which is maybe even more important or more worrisome or something like that. There's an underlying issue, trouble, theme. A lot of times if an author, you know, has 10 books, there may be some underlying theme to his books. Maybe
there is, but not clear.
Yeah, or you don't notice unless you read all the books, and actually even if you read all the books, you might not notice it the first time. But if you sat down and you thought about it, or you really researched the book, you might notice some underlying theme. So there are only 5 of them, but they're all good. I especially like underlying. Convene is simple, I think, but it is quite is used often in news and stuff like that. Sappy is a good one just to understand what they actually mean, to really understand that feeling. Constituent, also sometimes used in like news and stuff that was a little bit more formal. Playbook, can be used in many situations, like I said. Okay.